Constructing models for data. Suppose Evan has a bucket of starfish and the number of starfish is related to how much he spent on the starfish. If he started with 2 starfish, that cost him $10, and for every additional starfish it cost him $1. Graph the relationship. So what I want to do is I'm going to change my numbering system here, and I'm going to go by 2's on both axes. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24, and so on. And then if we're going up, then it would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and so on. So what we need to do is we need to figure out which one is which. So it looks like if we could put our cost on the bottom here. So this will be our cost in dollars. And then up the y-axis, we'll just call this the number of starfish. All right, and then we could just graph it. So we start, where do we start? It says he started with 2 starfish that cost him $10. So $10 for 2 starfish. And then for each additional, cost him $1. So that would mean if he got 1 more, it cost him $11. 1 more, it would cost him $12. So if he had 4, he'd have $12, and then it would continue that way. So there's our graph. Put an arrow on the end, and technically it would also have an arrow out going this way, but since you can't have a negative number of starfish and you don't have to pay if you don't have any starfish, we usually will just start it right there. But that would be your final answer, and then a title possible would be the cost of starfish. And that would be good. So that would be your graph, your model for this information. The next one here says, suppose a basketball is thrown in an arc toward the basket. The ball begins 4 feet off the ground, and its highest point is 15 feet off the ground at time of 1 second. So graph the relationship. So we're going to go by, let's go by 2's also on this one. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and so on. And then I'm going to go by half seconds. So I'm going to put my time on the bottom here, and I'm going to go by seconds. And I'm going to go 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and so on. So you can kind of see how that's going to progress. And so up, the y-axis is going to actually be my height. And that would be in feet. So you should mention that. And then we just graph what we know. So we know we started 4 feet off the ground. So at time 0, we are 4 feet off the ground. So I'm going to mark that point. And then I know that it's an arc. So it's going to be something like that. So it's going to go at its highest point, 15 feet off the ground at a time of 1 second. So at 1 second, we're going to be about 15 feet off the ground. So that's about right there. And then we're going to go up, and then that's its highest point, so we're going to turn back around. So that would be our graph. And then a title for that graph would be maybe path of the basketball. So that would be your final representation of this graph. So those are your notes on constructing models for data. Go through the practice problem. There's a few more different types of examples there. And then prepare for a quiz over basically graphing when you're given a word problem.